Hello and welcome. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now with me, Snehisha, and with me is Vinny Motiwala. Vinny, wishing you a very good afternoon. Before we kickstart with the show and tell our viewers about all the buzzing stocks in under a minute, Vinny, why don't you tell us what the markets are doing? And we've just hit a record high and come slightly lower back.
Slightly off that point, but still a new record high level for the Nifty. Right now trading at 23,676 is what the Nifty is trading at. Look at the jump up we saw, right? At 12,30 we started seeing that up move, and since then we've seen that gaining Nifty gaining bit of a momentum and 0.6% of uptake. Sensex also at those high all-time high levels, so keeping an eye out on that. But let's pull up the mid cap, because that's a different story, right? Mid and small cap, both the broader markets, when you look at it, they have given up those gains. Mid cap trading at the day's lowest point even as of now. You can see 0.5% of downtick, and even the small cap was trading quite comfortably above 0.8, 0.7% of uptick, but now only holding on to gains of almost 0.2 to 0.3% in trades. So yes, keeping an eye out on that. Nifty Bank 52,000 mark for the first time today we saw, and 52,500 and above that level is what the Nifty Bank is trading at. What's pulling the market today is the Nifty Bank, specifically the banking names. So whether you look at an HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, surely among the top pullers for the market. Keeping an eye out on that. Banks are outperforming today in terms of the move, at least for the broader market front. Keeping an eye out on that. IT is managing to hold on to some bit of a gain today, so keeping an eye out on that. While Nifty Realty is today among the top sectoral loser that one could watch out for. So yes, keeping an eye out on the Nifty Realty, but that's how the market is shaping up like. We're seeing the Nifty Bank surely holding on quite strong, and the financial side is holding on strong. Realty doing weak, mid-cap and broader markets not doing too well. And Nifty all-time high level. So different story both for the broader markets as well as the benchmark.
Absolutely, slightly contrasting views, moves coming over there. But on that note, let's kickstart the show then, and let's welcome on the show our technical guest for today, and that's Osho Krishan, the senior analyst, technical and derivative research at Angel One. And on our research side, from our research desk, we have Gaurav joining us today. Thank you so much, both of you, for taking the time out and joining us today. But before we talk about the technical stocks, first, let me kickstart the show by talking about a top gainer in today's trading session, and that is Amara Raja. Stellar moves coming in, Vinny, on that stock. Remember, at one point in the day, it was as high as 20% locked in upper circuit, slightly lower from that point now, but nonetheless, very solid move. 16% higher is where that stock is. Now, the company has said that its only owned subsidiary, Amara Raja Advanced Cell Technologies, has signed a technical licensing agreement with GIB Energy X Slovakia, which is a subsidiary of Goshen High Tech Company Limited. Now, this comprehensive agreement enables Amara Raja to manufacture world-class LFP cells in both cylindrical as well as prismatic form factors. On the back of this news flow, let's quickly understand what brokerages have to say of this. JP Morgan has maintained a neutral stance, target price of 1,210 rupees. They believe that this technical licensing deal is an important milestone for the company. This partnership will help accelerate the Gigafactory development as well, and should also give investors more confidence when it comes to Amara Raja's targets of that 16 gigawatt capacity. Any clarity on more details about this, or the potential OEM contracts or equity or debt fundraising would lead to re-rating in the stock? That's JP Morgan's view. Moving on, Investec has also said they've maintained a buy rating with a target price of 1,250 rupees. They believe that this will boost Amara Raja's manufacturing capabilities, as Goshen is very highly backward integrated, and this could also lead to some valuations catching up for Amara Raja. So that's the view coming in from both the brokerages on Amara Raja. Stock holding up pretty smartly today.
Not only that, other battery stocks also like Exide is also buzzing away in trade. 15-16% of gains, I believe, even coming in for Exide. So yes, the battery pack surely buzzing in trade. With Amara Raja, we're seeing Exide buzz away. But let's move on, talk about Zomato. While Zomato on focus, we have Swiggy which came out with its numbers, and that comes in from courses in terms of the report that they give. So because they do have an investment of around 33% in Swiggy, we do get the numbers. Now when you look at it, Swiggy has been performing well, has surely moved in terms of narrowed in terms of the losses. Adjusted EBITDA loss also, where they were saying that's also narrowed down. But what is an indication coming in that when you look at the growth rate in terms of revenue, Zomato is doing better than Swiggy in terms of the growth rate. Zomato grew at around 55%, while Swiggy managed to grow at 21%. But other than that, the gross order value for Zomato and Swiggy similar at 26%. Overall, Swiggy has also managed to see a double-digit growth, mainly in the gross order value due to higher average order values. And quick commerce business has been doing well for Swiggy also, is the word coming in. And similar for Zomato also, the quick commerce business, that's the Blinkit side, has been doing well. But what's the word coming in from Karan Torani, both on Swiggy Zomato? Listen into what he had to say about that.
I think Zomato has been very proactive in certain things. One very big lever for the advertising, one very big lever for the profitability rather, is the advertising revenue. So I think if you look at Zomato's take rates, we've seen a sharp improvement from a range of about 70.5 to 18% to 20% plus. And the bigger driver for this is because of the ad revenue. I think that they've been a winner over there very clearly. Second big lever is the platform fee. Platform fees have been hiked, constantly over the last 8 to 10 months, and it started off from about 2 rupees, and today in some markets it's about 5 rupees, and potentially this could go to even 8-10 rupees. So I think these are the two levers that differentiate Zomato versus Swiggy in terms of profitability.
All right, that's the word coming in from Karan Torani on the entire Zomato versus Swiggy debate. But let's move on then. And Osho, I'm going to come to you for a technical check now. And you have picked out Apollo Hospitals. We've recently seen a brokerage note coming on this counter as well. So what's your view here? What are the levels that you're spotting for this stock?
Very good afternoon to both of you. Well, in the recent period, we have seen a good traction in Apollo Hospital. Basically, from the 200-day SMA, the counter has retracted on a very decent manner. And in the last couple of trading sessions, we have seen that the bearish gap on the higher end on the daily time frame has also been filled in the daily chart. So I am expecting that from here onwards, there will be a gradual up move that should be continued in Apollo Hospital for immediate targets of nearly 6,500, and the time it breaches the zone of 6,500, then we can witness a very strong up move and tractions both in Apollo Hospital for higher targets. But for now, 6,500 is the immediate target for short-term perspective.
An out on that one, but let's move on to the next stock. And Gaurav, PNB Gills, this one also is buzzing away in trade. Why?
Well, PNB Gills is buzzing, and the main reason is that there is a bond inclusion. Now, we all know that JP Morgan is going to include India in their emerging markets bond, and the date for this is going to be 28th June 2024. Apart from that, we also have Bloomberg, who will be including India in their emerging market bond, and the date for that is January 31st, 2025. Although it is a distant event, but if you look at the stock performance, it is up almost by 11%. Let's not forget that there was, as per sources, the company was also hiring in executive level employees and middle level employees, and this was because of the larger work was expected in the foreign desk. Now we know that Street is expecting around $40 to $50 billion of inflow in FY25 because of the bond inclusion, and PNB Gills being one of the players who actually looks after bonds. This stock is definitely buzzing, so definitely watching out on this stock as how it performs for investors.
All right, Gaurav, thanks for taking us through that. Osho, I'm going to come back to you. Let's talk about a stock you've picked out, and that's Grasim Industries. Now, in the past 6 months, a roughly 22% uptake is what this stock has seen. What's your view when it comes to Grasim, and what are the levels that you're spotting?
Grasim is into the cycle of higher highs, higher lows, comfortably placed at its lifetime high level. So I'm expecting that from here onwards, looking at the overall technical setup and the parameters are also giving a very strong boost in this counter. So I'm expecting that in the coming period, 25.50 to 60 should be seen on immediate basis, and there could be some consolidation or gradual up move persisting in this counter. So 21-day exponential moving average has been providing a very strong support for this counter. So near about 24.50, 24.40 is a very strong support zone, and on the higher levels, 25.50 to 60 should be seen as the immediate target.
Okay, keep an eye out on those levels over there for Grasim Industries. But on that note, we'll step into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more stocks after the break.
Hi there, welcome back. You're still watching Market Fatafat on ET now. Let's keep it going with all the stocks that are buzzing, and let's talk about yet another buzzer in today's trading session, but on the negative side. And this is Happiest Minds that I'm talking about. Stock has been heavily under pressure today, Vinny, as of now also 8.8% lower. Now approximately 1.27 crore shares or 8.3% equity of the company, which is worth 1076 crore rupees, has changed hands today morning at an average price of 847 per share. This has happened in early deals today, and though the buyers and the sellers of this block deal cannot immediately be identified, we'll know after market hours today. Media reports earlier suggested that Happiest Minds promoter and executive chairman and Ashok Soota was likely to offload a 6% stake in the company via a block deal. The floor price for this deal was set at 826 rupees for an offer size of 755 crores. And remember, on his remaining stake, on the residual stake, there is still a 6-month lock-in that applies to that. But well, yes, these are the contours of the block deal that we did see coming in this morning for Happiest Minds, and that is what is leading to so much pressure on this stock. We'll obviously know the names of the buyers and the sellers post-market hours today.
Absolutely, surely we'll be keeping an eye out on that. But let's move on, talk about MCX on the charts then. And Osho, today MCX is buzzing. And in the last 6 months, when you look at it, we've seen those ups and downs coming in, though managed a return of 24-25%. What's the view now on MCX?
See, overall, the counter is into a very broader range consolidation. For the time being, on the lower end, near about 3600 is the very strong support zone. And on the higher end, near about 4150 approx is a very strong resistance level for MCX. But for short-term traders, definitely in the recent period, the counter has seen a very strong traction, and it has made a very strong technical setup. So I am expecting that from here onwards, the counter seems poised to test the zone of 4100, 4150 in the short-term period. So from yesterday's lows of approximately 3720, 3725, one should definitely try to accumulate it, keeping a stop loss near about 3720 for targets of 41, 4150.
Accumulate is the call coming in from MCX. Let's move on then. And Gaurav, you've picked out two names from the Muthoot basket. You have Muthoot Microfinance as well as Muthoot Capital. Tell us why Muthoot stocks have made it to your list today.
Of these stocks from Muthoot FinCorp are buzzing, and the reason being that these stocks are foraying into the insurance segment. Now Muthoot Cap has actually got an approval from IRDAI for corporate agent, and so Muthoot Microfinance has also got the same approval from IRDAI for the corporate agent's license for insurance. Now if you talk about Muthoot Microfinance specifically, this will strengthen the company's commitments towards financial inclusion by providing insurance coverages. If you look at company, it has network of around 1508 branches across 19 states, and they have around 33.5 crores customers. This will actually help the company to earn additional revenues, and this will also add up into their ROAs. Now on the back of this news, if you look at stock prices also, they have reacted positively. Talking about Muthoot Capital, it is up 1.6%, while Muthoot Microfinance is up almost by 2.3%. So definitely watching out on all these companies.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on that. Let's move on and shift focus to an auto anch name that you have. And Osho, you've picked out for us JBM Auto. Now, when you're looking at JBM Auto in terms of the stock move also, what is the highlight coming in here for you? Given that, in the last 6 months, we've seen almost a return of 50% for JBM Auto. Furthermore, upside that one could expect in the next 6 months?
See, overall in current financial year, we have seen a decent cycle of higher highs, higher lows in this counter. So I'm expecting that this should continue for the time being, because there are two developments and two observations that are major in this counter. Firstly, today from 21-day exponential moving average, there has been very strong resurgence or retractment in this counter that has been backed by strong volumes, and which has given a sloping trend line breakout in this counter. So I'm expecting it is having a very strong breakout around the zone of 2140, where it is hovering right now. So from here onwards, one can definitely expect a decent uptrun. Short-term perspective, 2350 should be the first target. But the time it breaches the zone of 2350, then from there onwards, we can see a very strong movement coming in for the targets of 2500 and plus from short to medium-term perspective.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on that one and the target price over there. But let's move on and talk about Kalpataru Kalpataru Projects. Why is that in focus? Now, obviously, it's an engineering and construction company that you're seeing. So now, along with this joint venture and international subsidiaries, they've secured an order worth around 2,333 crores. So this is quite a big of an order win that is coming from for Kalpataru Projects. Now, when you're looking at it, this is an order, and we've seen the share price also jump up. But after that jump up in the morning, we saw the share stock actually give up those morning gains. This project is mainly for a transmission and distribution business in India and overseas market, and EPC order for an industrial plant in the metal industry and residential building order in India. So on the back of that, we're going to be keeping an eye on Kalpataru project. Given up those morning gains, quite subdued right now, down 0.3% after those jump up in trade that we saw early morning.
All right, so that's Kalpataru projects for you. Osho, let's talk about technicals once more. And PI Industries is the stock that you have flagged off for us. Tell us what levels are you spotting? What kind of moves are you penciling in for the stock going ahead?
Overall, this counter is also into a broad consolidation zone from the zone of 3400 on the lower band and higher band near about 4000. But in the recent period, once it has seen a very strong traction from the 200-day SMA, so that is providing a very strong opportunity to accumulate this counter for immediate target of nearly 4000. Because in the last 4 trading sessions, there has been very strong accumulation that has been backed by decent volumes. So I'm expecting that this should continue on a gradual basis for higher targets of 4000 from short-term and positional basis.
Okay, keep an eye out on those targets over there for PI Industries. But on that note, we're going to sip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more stocks after the break.